Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Terence Crawford's not getting the respect he deserves. They say he's not good enough. They say he's too small. They say Canelo's too strong. Is that fair or is that reality? We're going to find out on September 13th what's really going on, aren't we? Matter of fact, let me do this. I got to remember to let me just take my head off of here because I kind of like this image. But this sums up Terence Crawford. Bulking up, working hard, with on his mind, they say I'm not good enough. They say Canelo's way too strong. I don't belong in the ring with him. I'm just cash grabbing. It's impossible to win. And you know what's crazy? People are now saying that Terence Crawford's brilliance, that his brilliance stopped at 147 because they didn't see the brilliance, they didn't see the power, they didn't see what made him a special fighter to get all the knockouts he got when he was at 147 pounds, when he went to 154, and as a result, him going to 168. They're saying that the buck stopped at 147, and he's lucky to have escaped with a win at 154. They're trying to tell you that Crawford's not great anymore, people. But I'll say this. Was there a little bit of regression fighting at 154 after coming off of a year of inactivity? I don't know, but I don't think it helped him coming off of the inactivity. But what I will say is people tend to forget that greatness doesn't ask for permission to show up. It doesn't wait for you or anyone else to approve greatness to show up. Greatness just shows up when it wants to. And I think with Terence Crawford, you're going to see greatness when he gets in that ring with Canelo. You see, greatness and Crawford are synonymous. Don't care about odds, because we all know Canelo's the favorite to win the fight. We don't care about greatness, and Crawford doesn't care about size. We all know Crawford has to, come in the ring much heavier than he's ever been in any fight. And it sure as hell doesn't care about reputation. If you go with what the boxing fans are saying, the person who has a reputation as a killer, especially at the heavier weight of 168, it sure as hell ain't Crawford, it's Canelo. But you see, greatness shows up when the world least expects it. And one thing about Crawford, since he's turned pro, he's been making a career of showing up, showing out, and showing his ass when he gets in the ring. Now, we got to be real here. As Crawford gets ready to step in the ring to face Canelo Alvarez, whether you are picking Crawford or not, the story is Canelo Alvarez is a pound-for-pound titan from Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico. Viva Mexico, cabrones. But when Canelo steps in the ring, the boxing world holds its breath. When Crawford steps in the ring, maybe not so much. Skeptics are loud right now, man. They're saying, hey, look at the weight difference between Crawford and Canelo. This is a suicide. Power gap. Look what Canelo has done to 175-pound fighters, what he's rumored to be doing to heavyweights and cruiserweights in sparring in camp. what he's done to everybody at 168. Look at the man's resume. Now, when it comes to Terence Crawford, they're saying Crawford's daring to be great. We respect that. It's admirable but foolish. You don't see Terence Crawford flinching, cool as a cucumber. Crawford, just like Canelo's used to being the favorite, Crawford's used to being the underdog. He's used to the naysayers. He's used to people saying a bunch of stuff. Basically, the detractors saying he can't do this or he can't do that or he shouldn't have been able to do this or he was lucky to get that or there was a cherry pick here and there. Been there before. Shit goes all the way back to Gamboa, Postal, Spence. Each time they question Terence Crawford unfairly. However, when you're a person who has the answers, you don't mind being questioned. And each time Terence Crawford answered. Passed the test with flying colors and got the extra credit. So this fight between he and Canelo, man, this is not just about belts. It's about legacy, about Crawford proving that he has the answers, definitely looking to rewrite the narrative. Terence Crawford is about to bring the storm that nobody saw coming because what everybody's seeing, or at least the majority, they're seeing sunny skies with Canelo's big, bright face with red hair right up there in the sky, and everybody's out here singing ding, 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 ding. Viva Mexico Cabrones. Not knowing that Crawford is bringing the goddamn storm. Black skies, thunder, lightning, kakash. Go scare the shit out of everybody, have everybody running up out the place. And he's going to be able to do that because he's motivated. Now, one thing I tell you, that motivation, that shit's, it's not found in the spotlight, people. It's forged in silence. That's why I hate the fact that Sean Porter, with his big bow tie wearing ass, went up in Crawford's camp and came out telling the business. That's not what you're supposed to do. But the bottom line is, Crawford's motivation, he's not trying to be in the spotlight. He's forging it in silence, in the gym. He's in the mirror. He's sitting here telling himself, you know what? This is going to be my moment. Nobody believed in me, but I believe in myself. You think Crawford doesn't hear the noise? He ain't running from it. He's running to it. He's absorbing it. He's storing it. He's like, all right, I know who's saying what. I know who's thinking what. No problem. I'm going to weaponize it. The more doubt, the more they fuel his gas tank. The more they fuel his motivation to get me here and shock the world and clip Guadalajara, Jalisco's finest. All these predictions against Crawford just because people like Canelo and don't like Crawford. I mean, you can't even get some of these people to say one good thing about Terence Crawford. Not even one good thing about Terence Crawford. That's crazy to me. But every prediction against him just becomes a reason for Terence Crawford to fight harder, man. I really believe when it comes to Crawford, he's not just fighting for himself. He's fighting for, I think, Omaha. I think he's really fighting for Omaha, man. Fighting for the streets that raised him, the people who believed before the world did. And matter of fact, the world's still doubting him. So did Crawford say there's weight classes for a reason and Canelo and those guys are too big? Yeah, he did say that at a point in time, but then had a little change of his vision. Bill Haney put something on his mind and he started looking at Canelo a little differently. Now Crawford is out here saying, you know what, I'm going to fight for legacy. I'm going to fight Canelo. This isn't just another belt. This isn't just another undisputed distinction. This is a chance for me to dethrone the face of boxing, to finally shut people up, to become the face. What I thought winning against Earl Spence would have done, but it didn't. If anything, it made things worse because everybody say Earl Spence was a dead man walking before he got in the ring. Crawford sees it all, hears it all. Look, when he gets in the ring with Canelo, he's not going to all of a sudden lose the brilliance that got him to the point he's at now in boxing. He's going to see Canelo's punches. He's going to slip his jab. He's going to counter the hook. He's going to walk Canelo into traps. At least try to. He studies all the great upsets. His team, that's all they do. They're like data architects. Ali, Foreman, Pacquiao, De La Hoya. We can go on and on. Because one thing's for sure, you heard the saying, it's not the size of the dog in the fight. The size of the fight in the dog. Bow, wow, wow, yippee-yo, yippee-yay. Crawford got a little bit of Snoop Dogg and Atomic Dog in him. He's brave, and that's what history favors. It favors the brave. When it comes to Crawford, you may not think he's great. You may not think he's handsome. You may not think he's articulate. You may feel that he's cherry-picked opponents, but one thing you cannot say is that he is not brave. Crawford's brave. But bravery alone doesn't win fights. It helps. Strategy is what helps, what really contributes to winning a fight. And Crawford has bravery, and he has strategy, and he has a team to put together the perfect strategy. It's worked, 41 times? You don't get in there and fight a guy like Canelo, this Mexican tank, and think you're gonna just bring brute force in your balls and beat him into submission. Like, that is just dumb. You beat him with what Crawford's used to beat every one of his other fighters, with brilliance, with rhythm. Crawford brings chaos, but it's disguised as control. We all know when it comes to Terence Crawford, man, he's off the line. His footwork allows him to be flawless. The constant pivoting, forcing Canelo to reset. All his other opponents, he forced them to do the same thing. Crawford has the orthodox stance, southpaw stance, but the thing is he has trickery when he's in both of those stances, and that will be key. Canelo has struggled with slick southpaws. And I just think Crawford got to be very careful because Canelo is brilliant. But I think with just hopping from left to right, right to left, up and down, I think that's just going to create some confusion in the ring for Canelo. Enough time for Crawford to land some bing-bings on him and then be, finding the escape routes and getting the hell out of Dodge. But tempo control will be everything because Canelo's going to be bringing the pressure. That means Crawford's going to have to be on the move. But he's going to have to be able to punch while he's moving and keep that up for 12 rounds, which I think Crawford can do that unless he develops dead leg from overtraining or Canelo lands something hard, and no matter how great a shape you're in, if the mind goes, the body goes, and that's the last thing Terence Crawford needs. So we're going to see maybe Crawford will be fast early just to get up on the scorecards, slow down in the middle rounds a little bit, and then really explode late. But he's going to have to use that reach advantage to try to attack Canelo's body. Going to have to use feints to draw counters. He can't afford to be baited by Canelo's feints and be walked into a trap, because Canelo's going to be trying to draw counters as well. But any mistake Canelo makes, Crawford's got to be in position to punish those mistakes. And one thing I will say is like Miguel Cotto. You know what I think really helped Cotto in a lot of his fights? Miguel Cotto had a poker face. You never knew Canelo was hurt until he started moving backwards. But his facial expression never changed. Crawford needs to bring a poker face into this fight. He needs to be able to just, whatever Canelo's doing, he needs to be able to just find something to counter it. He's got to be able to adapt. And I just think mid-fight is where you're going to see him just really trying to download what's going on, because once he gets out, I would say it's like being in the ocean getting caught in the current. Once you get caught in that current, okay, now you're out the current, you're swimming back to land, but you got the waves coming over your head. It's a lot to process, but you're in a much better position than you were when you were caught up in that damn riptide, but you're still in danger. But I think it's going to be very important for Crawford to start to download and make those adjustments in mid-fight. And I think these are going to be his weapons. Round after round, just trying to make sure the blueprint for him to win the fight, the strategy starts to unfold. You watch Crawford, man, in early rounds when he's fighting, he takes his time, but he's probing, he's testing reactions, he's trying to stay elusive, trying to maintain the distance. And then by the middle rounds, he's all of a sudden landing clean counters. Next thing you know, if he can do this with a guy like Saul Canelo Alvarez, he may be able to frustrate the Guadalajara and Jalisco native. But going into the championship rounds, look, if his strategy works, if the blueprint unfolds, Crawford's either going to go for the kill or secure the decision with ring generalship. It's not just a fight, it's a chess match with fists, and Crawford's already said, win by any means necessary. So for someone to think Crawford won't go in the ring and just look to win by decision, that he's going to come in there and try to just hold his ground and crash up with Canelo. Hey, yo, hold your horses and stop taking it to the stupid, McNicholas. Crawford has already said, do whatever it takes to win. So I fully expect Crawford at times to be a little bit of a boxer runner if he has to. That's something that I think anybody would do. You want to be the big man. You want to be the guy with the crown. Canelo has the crown. Crawford wants the crown. He wants the throne. He wants all the money. He wants to fight a few more times. He beats Canelo. Look, his next fight, he's for sure making around 150, 200 million. In one fight. He wants to win. And he can win. But understand this fight isn't about royalty. This shit really is all about the revolution, man. For Crawford, it's a revolution. And it should be. Because he just doesn't get the respect he deserves. Crawford is a special fighter. He's elite. Canelo is a bad boy, but I don't think he's special like Crawford. But he definitely is elite. When you look at him holistically as a fighter. But that doesn't matter. We'll argue all day about who's the better fighter, who has the better skill. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a revolution. It's more about royalty because there's so much money. Cha-ching, ching, Wu-Tang cream that's being spread around out there in the desert. But let's just understand this. Canelo's legacy is undeniable. Nobody can come out here and take away from Canelo, even though a lot of these fans try to. Multi-division champ, global icon, man. Face of boxing. Gets busy. You fight him, you get the payday. But when it comes to Terence Crawford, man, the legacy is, the history is already there, but the legacy, look, I think it's still kind of waiting for that to be written in bold, man. Undefeated, undisputed. Then you got undefeated, 3-time undisputed 3-weight division. That has a much catchier ring to it. And that is going to give Crawford universal respect, which he's still seeking. A win here changes everything. Look, it's not just beating the biggest name in boxing. He comes out here now and he's going to shatter the myth of size over skill. And for everyone who's out here saying he left his brilliance at 147, he's going to be like, man, kiss my black ass. Y'all came out here saying all this shit. Well, how about this? What you got to say now? He's going to prove that his IQ is going to beat the muscle of Canelo. That his speed, although Canelo has power and timing, that his speed is going to be even too much for Canelo's timing, because Crawford's going to time him, trying to time him, and time again, put the bing-bings on him. So the greatness isn't measured in pound, but in heart, and even if he loses, he's going to fight with heart, strategy, and courage, and he loses nothing, man, because most of us who really are true to this shit, we understand warriors aren't judged by outcomes alone. They're judged by how they fight. He's got to fight Canelo. I think he can win. And they called him the underdog. But let me tell you this. Underdogs don't bark, they bite. Crawford's not out here chasing greatness. He is greatness. He's the real deal. And on fight night, when those lights dim, the crowd's going to be roaring, probably for Canelo because they're fighting in Vegas. And Canelo, no matter where he goes, the fans come out to support him. But only one man is going to rise. And the guy who rises on that night is not because he was expected to. That would be Canelo. I think the guy who's going to rise could definitely be the guy who refused not to rise, and that's going to be Crawford. That's going to be the storm. It's going to be his moment. It's Terence Crawford moment. And the world is going to remember what Terence Crawford was, what he became, and what he will be when the boxing history books are written. A bad mofo from Omaha, Nebraska, who put the Omaha Bing Bings on the face of boxing and went on to become probably one of the best, arguably the best fighter to ever put on a pair of boxing gloves. Anyway, man, y'all keep cool. Become a member to the channel. Hope you enjoy the content. I guess I could give you this while I'm running my mouth now that I'm done talking. Nothing else comes to my mind to talk about. Make sure y'all become a member to the channel. Subscribe. Leave that donation for that fried rice and chicken wings. Put some more respect on Terence Crawford's name. That man is motivated. They're treating him worse than they treated him when he was about to face Earl Spence. Better expect Crawford to show up and show out and show his ass and clip Canelo in the breeze.